Hey everybody. Let me see if I can find the live feed this morning. There it is. Live feed. Let me style the video here. Today is Tuesday, February 25th. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I got the notification that YouTube at Fort Worth Memories, the morning show, is on. Okay, today is going to be beautiful, 70s I believe. Let me get back to the, well, there it is. George is in. Okay, so it's going to be a pretty day. Get out and enjoy it. I don't know of anything that is pressing. Brittany's in. George is in. I need to do a little bit different show today. I was contacted by a lady that works at a juvenile facility in Texas, down towards the coast area, and they have basically teenagers that have gotten down the wrong path, and they watch my show pretty regular, she said. Monty's in. So she called me yesterday evening and asked me if I could talk about how my life changed in the 80s. And I said, sure. George is in. Marilyn's in. So, first of all, I want to say to these young people that whatever brought you to where you're at, in my opinion, it's harder for you to stay in that lifestyle than it is to turn your life around. And I know people are going to say, well, I don't believe that. Yeah. This is some old guy talking about. I was the same way. I was identical to that. I believe that you're a product of your environment. On my father's side of the family, uh, it wasn't good. So, so I went down the wrong path, just like maybe some of y'all have. But believe me, I'm living proof that change can happen. And the only ingredient you need is to look within yourself and ask yourself, what got me here? Why did I do whatever I did to get here? And how can I change it? Now, y'all are teenagers, is what the lady at the institution told me. So I was in my 30s before I changed, and it was a rough road. I mean, I was in and out of trouble. I'd been shot, I'd been stabbed. I basically don't know why the Lord let me stay on the planet myself. Uh, I'll tell you another low point in my life. People that know me know that I really cherished my mother and her thoughts. When I was 32 years old, I was in Las Vegas, and I sent my mom flowers on Mother's Day. And I don't ever talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it with y'all. So I didn't think anything. A few days later, I get a phone call. My mother sent the flowers back. That was devastating to me. So I then knew that my family had alienated themselves from me, and that kept the drinking and that gangster lifestyle that I was living keep on going. So then, in the middle 80s, when I was shot and I laid up at John Peter Smith Hospital for what seemed like forever to learn how to walk again, I finally came out of the hospital, immediately went back to the lifestyle that I'd lived that got me in the hospital to start with. And I just didn't know any other way of life. I really didn't have a childhood. I was a punching bag from my father for years, starting at about age 8, until once I became a young teenager, I stood up to him. So life moved on. So when I say I was shot in the back. So I guess the shock or whatever blocked it out of my mind. So forever, I thought, I don't know who shot me. But I had a crew, and a crew is other like-minded individuals that was in that same lifestyle I was in. So I was driving home one day, I was on 199, and something flashed in front of me. I was born with a gift of photographic memory, things that I've seen from early childhood, from about age 8 or 9. I can recall pretty much to the minute. I think the reason they didn't start till age 8 was all the beatings I took. So I'm driving home, and all of a sudden one of these pictures that I see all the time, day or night, in my head was the person that shot me, and he was in my crew. So I immediately called home and told my wife, my first wife, I'm turning around. I don't know when I'll be home or if I'll be home. And I told her, I know who shot me. He had a repair shop in River Oaks. It was a TV and VCR repair shop. So when I pulled up in front of his repair shop, gun in hand, I always, back then, still today, always have a gun. Because I heard a lot of people in that other lifestyle. So I think I went in there with full intentions of ending his life. When my hand hit that door, it was the old push the handle down to open the door. It was like a shock went over me, but I didn't know what it was. So anyway, I walked in. He had a customer. He saw me. He was nervous. He got rid of the customer. And he said, I guess you figured out what happened. And I said, yeah. And so he said, so what's going to happen now? Like, are you going to put me out of my misery or whatever? Something came over me, and I stuck my hand out, and I said, I just want to shake your hand. You saved my life. And I truly believe that. As I was exiting, I turned around and I said, one question. Why did you shoot me? And he said, you had $60,000 on you and I needed money. So I left the building, drove home. That still didn't change my lifestyle. It changed some of it, but not completely. And so a couple of other things happened back in that same time frame. I would call home and my mother wouldn't answer the phone. It was always ringing. So I knew she was there. I drove by and saw her car. So that evening, which is about 60 days or so from exiting the hospital, that my life changed. So I was never born with any great physical ability. I played a little bit of football when I was in school, a little bit of baseball. I was never really good at it. No college. The high school graduated me just to get me out of there. The principal, his name was Billy Smith, he was scared of my dad. So we just kind of made a deal, or he offered a deal saying, you don't have to come back to class, and next year we'll send your cap and gown information to your mom's address and you can walk across the stage, which is what I did. So then I started to try to find ways to give back, which shortly thereafter I'd remembered that I'd asked for a bicycle when I was a kid and got a broken jaw for asking. So I said, well, I'm going to see if I can help some kids. Thus, that started my bike giveaway. This is the 39th year. We'll go over 20,000 right now to date. I've given away, or people around me and helped me, 19,550 bikes. We'll go over 20,000, and if you value them at $50 a piece, it's over $1 million worth of bicycles. So what I have to say to you young people is the road you're on is the road to recovery. Just because you're in an institution, it's not the end of the world. You have to have help, but help from other human beings. We're all what we make ourselves. Sure, maybe you got caught and the next person didn't. Doesn't matter. people here in Fort Worth have accepted what I did in the past and how I move forward. Some people, when I was a collector for bookmakers, I hurt a lot of people. I tried to remember everybody and make amends, and some people said, no, that's not necessary or whatever. So, don't give up on yourself. You can help change the world, but you got to start with what's inside your heart. So don't be angry. The lady that works there at that institution told me a lot of y'all have are violent, or not violent, but you're angry with the world. You got to get rid of that anger. There's nobody can help you do it. You got to do it on your own. You can say, well, my mom and dad divorced. We didn't have any money. I was on the street. Hey, I've been there, all of it. I never had a childhood. Never. Never had a bicycle. So you just have to depend on people there that are trying to help you. And I didn't even ask the lady that works there. I know, I've heard stories. I never was in prison, so I've heard stories that some people in those institutions take advantage of people, especially younger people. I understand that. You have to keep it in your mind that you're going to get out of there. You need to learn also. She told me that some of y'all are not interested in getting a high school diploma, whatever that GED or whatever that's called. You need to evaluate your life, yourself, and start doing positive things. Put those negative things out of the way because they don't work. So I just want you to know that the road that got you to where you're at is a lot harder to maintain than the road to turning your life around. People ask me if I found Jesus, the Lord. I did. Didn't change anything. So in my thoughts, I was a phony Christian. I told everybody at face value, oh yeah, I go to church, yada, yada, yada. That was a lie. So you have to come clean with yourself. And I appreciate all of y'all that watch and listen to me. If y'all were closer, I'd definitely come see you. But life is what you make out of it. And if you've hurt people in your family before, they still love you. You just have to prove to them that you're a different person. And believe me, I'm living proof. So I appreciate y'all listening to me. My phone number's always available. She has it. Call me anytime. I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Once you get out of that facility, if you're up in Cowtown ever, please come by and see me. It's not easy, but you can make it. And not everybody in the world is against you. It just might seem that way. What really turned me was when I was in my early 30s in Las Vegas doing that lifestyle, and I sent my mother flowers and she sent them back. I didn't know that for about a week. I never asked my mother why she did that. So when I turned my life around, I then tried to mend my relationship with my mother. Other siblings we don't even talk. I know that's hard and that's rough, but It's not my doing. So anyway, you don't, just because somebody else comes from a nice neighborhood or their parents are well off or whatever, you don't have to, money is not the object of life. It's happiness. So to those of y'all in that institution, there's hope. But life is what you make out of it, yourself. Like I say, I'm available to talk at any time. I can try to give you whatever pointers I can give you, but you got to get right within your own heart. You got to get rid of that anger. That anger will eat you up. Don't blame other people for putting you where you're at. It's your decision that got you where you're at. Whether you're a participant of the crime or... She told me that one of y'all was in a car, that a convenience store was robbed. There was some damage done, but not loss of life. And that you're angry that you were out in the car. Well, you know, association, guilt by association is the way things are, especially here in Texas. If you're out in the car, they're going to say, why didn't you get out of the car and walk away? So you're just as guilty as the shooter. And she told me that you're very, very angry. Get rid of that anger. That anger needs to be on you. Anyway, that's my address to the institution down near the coast. Like I say, I'm available anytime. But you got to lean on other people. And there's people out there that love you and will help you. But you got to be honest with them and yourself. You don't have to be a millionaire, rich, anything. Now's the time to change when you're in your teens. And there's one of y'all, not trying to point anybody out, is 10 years old. You have the ability to change. I know you've got a long, after you finish your time there, then you get transferred to a adult prison. Seems hard to say to a 10-year-old kid, but life will get better. Try to get your schooling in. You know, one of the first years that I completely changed, I said, I'm going to read the Bible. I thought, well, of course I had to work. Everybody's got to work to earn a living. It ought to take me a month or so. It took me 3 years. A lot of it I did not understand. So I asked for help. And I got it. That was the first time I ever knew that life is what we make out of it. Be kind to your neighbor. People that don't like you, that's their issue. You don't have to show that disrespect back. I know in institutions that respect is everything, and people say, hunker down, hold your head down, and get through it. I don't agree with that. Hold your head up. Don't ever be ashamed to say you're a Christian or that you love your country or your family or whatever. No, don't hold your head down. You hold your head up high. You're just as important to God as the person that never went to prison. So I'm going to close with y'all and tell you I hope this helps, but I know that sounds phony. I just hope you listen to it. Play it over and over again in your mind that you're not in this alone. You've got other people that love and care for you. Write me letters, whatever. She has all the address. And like I say, once y'all get out of that institution, if you're up here in Cowtown, Dallas, Fort Worth area, come see me. I'd love to talk to you. The old saying, we're better together than we are apart, that's true. If the whole world would realize that, we'd be a lot better off. Okay, so I got to finish up my morning show. Again, it was an honor to talk to you youngsters, young people, young men and women. There's hope. I think the road to hope is you have to accept the Lord into your life. Because He's already forgiven you. And I know from my own experience, I find that hard to believe for all the damage that I did. But I'm still here. So He kept me around for a reason. So don't get discouraged. Read all you can. Knowledge is power. Find something that you're good at. Not everybody has to go to school to be a doctor, a lawyer, accountant, whatever. Just find something you're good at. And life will get better, I promise you. I know a lot of people probably talk down to you, maybe even family members. That's all right. That's all right. Just don't let it phase your focus to bettering yourself while you're there. And then when you get out, accept all the advice that these people are trying to give you. Find out how I can get a better job. If you come out of that juvenile facility and you still haven't done any schooling, that's not going to be very productive. There's trade schools. I don't know if y'all are eligible. I think you are, because she said the majority are not felons but repeat offenders. To the young man that's 10, you got a long road. She told me that she'd probably never see the outside again. I don't believe that. I'd like for you to reach out to me and let our group try to help. We've got some wonderful people on here. But you got to show us that you want to change. Okay, so I guess that's it for now. Remember, we love you. Okay. I think that was harder for me to do than them to listen. Helicopters are all outside here. I hope the police are not here looking for me. Hold on. It sounds like they're hovering right here. Hey, what's going on? They robbed or what? Yeah, I'll keep my door locked. Oh no, I got a pistol. Don't worry about that. All right. Hell, somebody robbed something. Ran the damn area. Trying to talk to some young people here, and there's an adult out there acting crazy. Okay, so anyway, I appreciate y'all sitting through that. It's not difficult for me to talk about my past. It never has been. Some of the people that I hurt that never accepted my apology or way. I guess they caught them. The helicopters are gone, I think. And refuse to accept my apology, then that's okay too. I understand. Anyway, we live from what we make out of ourselves. The other day, 30 days ago or something, I had all of these premonitions that maybe my life was going to end. I could see stuff in my sleep when I was alive. And so I called on help. Two of our members, who are ministers, are very knowledgeable about life, came immediately. And they put me at ease. So life is not easy. Things happen. No, the helicopters are still here. They just moved a little bit over. Life isn't easy, but it's what we make out of it. We've all got issues that we face every day. I would advise people that if you have a family that you're estranged from, try to repair it. I say all of this the day before. Today's the 25th. Veronica, one of my daughters, is 38 or 39, I'm trying to think. 38 tomorrow. And at one time, we were estranged. I did most of that on my own to shield my family from any kind of retribution or anything like that. So, but we, for many, many, many years, have discovered that we are father, daughter, and that she knows I love her. She was the only child out of wedlock. But that's okay too. I remember the day I had Berry Street Car Wash. Her mother came up there and I said, hey, what have you been doing? Nothing, having babies. I looked at this little girl in the car. I said, wow, what's her name? She told me. I said, super. Who's the father? She said, you. Yeah, right. Anyway, I looked at her real good. When I got home that evening, I looked at my sister, one of my sisters, when she was around the same age, and they were spitting images. So I accepted it and accepted the responsibility. Let's see who all's in here. Bill's in. Good morning. Francis, thank you. Woody. You know, we have to pass down our life experiences to whoever we can. Some people don't have a platform. I'm lucky that I do. And so, young people, with all the peer pressure out here and this and that, and I mean, for us it was tough, and it wasn't near what it is today. You didn't have everybody with as a news reporter or whatever. Sensationalism sells newspapers or Facebook pages or X or Instagram or TikTok. The most popular groups in a lot of those platforms is sensationalism. Shooting a police officer or causing a riot or this or that. And that's wrong. We can change the world, all of us, but we got to do it. Start within your own heart. That's where it's got to start. If it starts at your heart, then you got to start helping other people. I wake up every day of my life trying to say to myself, I'm going to help somebody that I don't even know, and I usually have the opportunity to do that at least once a day. Sometimes I don't. I'll tell you one of my stories and then we'll get off of that. This was many years ago. I was coming down Jacksboro Highway. Back then I didn't go the loop. I came down to University and then came on over to here. Then my shop was next to the Firestone. So it was about 5 o'clock in the morning. It was dark. There was a car pulled over on the side of the road over there by Rockwood Golf Course. And I saw a African American elderly lady outside behind the car, and she had a baby in her hands and 2 other young kids. Well, naturally, I drove right past, and when I got to the university to where you turn, I just made a U-turn and went back. I said, this isn't right. So I went back and I asked her, ma'am, do you have a problem? And she said, yeah. She had a flat tire, and while we were talking, I could hear air coming out of another tire. So I instantly thought, how can I help this lady? And I said, she told me that the babies were her grandkids, that her daughter was hooked on dope, and that she took them from her daughter. I said, I can help you. And there's a motel right across the street from it. I don't know what, Fairway Motel or something. I said, how about if we go over here, y'all get in the truck, and I'll take you over here, we'll get you a room, and you hand me the keys to your car, and we'll get it fixed. She didn't want to do that at first, but it was cold, and she said okay. So I then go down University to go down to 7th Street to turn up to go to my shop, and I think Sam's right there at Fort Worth Tire. So I drove over there. Sam wasn't there yet, but Bear was. I said, hey, what time is Sam getting in? And he told me, and I said, have him call me. Sam called me, and he said, what's up? And I said, there's a car up there on Jacksboro Highway right before you get to University. It's a station wagon. It's she's got 2 flats I know of. And he said, okay, so what do you want to do? And I said, have you got a couple of tires we can put on there, and so she can get back home? And he said, how much money you want to spend, Larry? And I said, a couple of $100. Can we get a set? Sam said, without thinking, he says, I'll put the tires on, you give her the $200. I didn't want her to know, and I don't know why I didn't want her to know how to get a hold of me, because I gave Sam and them the $200. About 2 days later, that was when I was on West 5th where that Blue Mesa. No, I was on pull up from my office, and I thought, dang, that looks just like that car that lady had. She came in, she had a cake made. And we talked, and she said, I just want to tell you thank you. And I said, that's great. Really take that cake to somebody else. I'm always on a diet, and I'll eat that thing in 30 minutes. So she took the cake, hugged me, and about 3 days later, one of the churches over off of Rosedale called me, and it was I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I did talk to Rhonda that owns Yellow Snake Horse Ranch, Brazos River Trails, and we're going to do a picnic down there. It's about an hour's drive. So I need to get with Sherry Holt today, and let's start figuring that deal out. Let's do the sponsors. We need donations, people. This museum is not going to be able to stay without donations. I can't do it anymore. I'm barely keeping head above water. There's Yellowsnake Horses Brazos River Ranch. She told me yesterday, I said, so it's $75 for an hour and 30 minutes? She said, it's usually around 2 hours, but sometimes we cut it down to 90 minutes. A-Bird AC and Heating, that's Doug Peacock's company. So if you got heat or air issues, or you think you might, give them a call. Eric Walsh is a great guy. He's real estate. He's on Larry's Kids Board of Directors. He really hustled up a lot of stuff for the kids. Burt Ladner Real Estate. That another board of director member, Wes Williams, is associated with Burt Ladner. What can I say about Wes and Sarah Williams? They're always there to help anybody. Great people. It's an honor just to be able to say they're my friends. Coburn's Catering. Steve Coburn, they've been in the restaurant, cafeteria, or catering business since 1946, if that tells you anything. Pat and Richard Carr, Dickie Carr Sand and Gravel. Again, the Carrs are super. They were the first person or group or business to write a check for $5,000 for my kids' giveaways. Bike giveaway, Larry's Kids. There's Grateful for Your Trees. That's Richard Carr's nephew, Dickie Carr. This young man he's biting at the bit to go to work and do some business. He said it's slow right now, so landscaping, fences, all types of haul off, anything to do with trees. Call him and set something up and let him come out and take care of it. Express Dent. Dick Regester started this company about when I started Classic about 40 years ago or so. Dick now lives in Florida, but his operating partner is Eric. They're on White Settlement Road, kind of across from Audubon BMW. Fort Worth Lumber. They're down on South Freeway, which is 35. They've been members and supporters of my giveaway and the group forever. So if you need building materials, plans, anything, those are the people to contact. Brandon Cross Electric. He's our electrical contractor sponsor and another family-owned business. We believe in helping family-owned businesses in Fort Worth or Tarrant County businesses. Jenny Stewart is our State Farm insurance sponsor. Don't just say, well, I've got insurance, I use Allstate or Farmers. Call Jenny's team and let them give you a quote. You can probably save money. Old South Pancake House, Rex Benson. Old South has been in the business family, Benson family, since 1962. I knew Rex's daddy, but I think before Rex knew him. They're 1500 blocks South University Drive with their main location that's open 24/7. The one in Burleson, it opens early, but they close at 9 or 10 at night. K Ranch Roofing, that's Jorge Hernandez. If you think you've got roof damage, or you might have, or you don't even know if you have, call and set up an appointment and let them come out with one of their specialists and take a look and give you a bid. When you call, you'll be talking to a lady named Bree. Very nice lady, helpful. She's ready to help you with whatever. Fort Worth Optimist Club. Somebody's here. Hello. Yeah. police. Dutch Brothers, they've got a place there off 199 in Azle. I stop there every morning. I don't drink coffee, but that's hot chocolate. Optimist Club of Fort Worth, Jeff Norman heads that group up. They do lots of great things for youth. Sports, scholarships, whatever. Passport Getaways. If you want to take a trip, book a cruise, go to Europe, see the Eiffel Tower, whatever, let these folks do the legwork. All you need to do is supply the money and go enjoy yourself. Rains Plumbing, that's another family-owned business. We've had several members and they're all very happy with the work. Charlie Guerin, Railhead Barbecue. Charlie is another sponsor he is a sponsor, but he's on the board of directors at Larry's Kids. He's our state rep, does lots of great things. His brother Pete runs the Sid Richardson Foundation. They also gave us a $5,000 check for Larry's Kids. Casey Crawl Insurance. They're our Medicaid and Medicare insurance experts. They really can walk you through it, give you advice. They can help you out. If you try to navigate it yourself, you won't get there. Rex's Bar and Grill. That's in the same parking lot with Old South over here on University. Used to be Macaroni Grill. It's now the premier sports bar in Fort Worth, Rex's Bar and Grill. What's that competition that's coming up this next week? March Madness. They're ready to take care of you. Stroud Auto Supply. Danny Stroud and his wife. I actually bought parts there when I was a kid. I don't guess I never met his father. His father might have waited on me. I don't know. But they are a local-owned auto parts supply store. Schwartz and Hanson, Jerry Hanson, Jerry Schwartz and his partner, Mr. Hanson, they give every year to the bike giveaway and also are sponsors on our group. G2 Garage, Chris and his team over there, they're in the White Settlement area. They're ready to take care of any of your automotive needs. Just give them a holler and go over there and see them. Phelps Family Auto Care is in the Burleson area, and everybody that ever tells me anything about Mike Phelps and his business or his family, it's all good. Fort Worth Florist, Jeanette and her team over there, they just got through with a busy Valentine's Day, but the flyers of all occasions, just holler 244-2345, 817 area code. Alpha Design and Build, that's Lance Sanders. He does remodeling. They'll remodel a room or your business or put a second story on it. They can handle it all. Clay Winstead Paint and Body. I've been doing business with the Winsteads 40 years. Clay and them are located on White Settlement Road, just past Roberts Cutoff. Scott Sumner is our IT guru. He can build you a website or anything, any technical stuff. Scott's the guy to do it with. Don't forget, keep those puppies inside when it's cold. Okay. We need a painting contractor. We need lots of stuff. I'll make a post about it. I got to get out here and get the shop opened up. I got a gentleman bringing a car, and I will talk to y'all on my first break. Love all of you.